these are the tenets by which the people that we work with are innovating with their businesses. This is what we believe matters, and I was asked to sort of frame this session on what about local economies? What do we believe in? What do we stand on? And why does it matter? So first of all, we believe that ownership matters. Who owns the businesses, who has the decision-making authority, who's receiving the wealth matters. And it matters primarily for three reasons. The first is because when you have more local businesses in a place, you have more prosperity, more wealth for more people. The second is because you get better accountability and better decision-making for your community. And the third is, frankly, more meaning and purpose in our lives. And, that matters. So I'll share a little bit more about each of those. The results are in regarding more wealth for more people. From Harvard Business Review to the Economic Development Quarterly now, we have all the data we need that show that a higher diversity of locally owned businesses in a place results in higher per capita income and jobs for that community. It does not do as good of a job as funneling wealth to few people, but it does do a better job at getting more wealth and more jobs to the most people. Second, by strengthening more locally owned businesses, we're increasing accountability. It's that kind of, you can't pass the buck to headquarters. And there's a great body of research now that shows that the best unit for decision-making is, in fact, 5 to 7 people, and that businesses of 20 or fewer employees who network with other businesses show greater resiliency, reliability, innovativeness, and positive social outcomes for a community. There's related research that shows as companies get larger, as organizations get larger, that large groups quickly develop into committee structures, executive leadership, and more people start to be silent, simply dropping out of the decision-making process. One person I thought I'd never quote, but I'm about to, is Ross Perot, and he said that as a board member of GM, that he was harking to this point, the bureaucracy. He was saying, you know what happens if a snake crawls in the back door at GM? Somebody calls the head leadership guy about snake catching, and then we have a task force appointed, and then we hire a consultant on snake capturing, and, long ago, the snake has slithered out the door or, multiplied into thousands or whatever was going to happen. So that's a basic principle of subsidiarity, that decision-making is best made by the people that are closest to it. And local businesses in a community give more to local nonprofits. They see the issue of that kid, that school, that river. And we all know local businesses who, in hard times, call their teams together and say, let's all have less hours until we get out of this recession, rather than flat across the line layoffs. And then the third reason is what I said, more meaning in our lives. You know and can feel that when more people are being in their vocation, their work of service to the world in the community, that it's better for them and it's better for all of us. When I was in high school, 16 or 17 years old, my mother then told me that I should, as I'm preparing for university, really consider becoming an occupational therapist. And I thought, that is amazing, Mother. Have you known me for 16 or 17 years? What about me would suggest that that would be the path for my essence, to become an occupational therapist? And she said, well, there's going to be a lot of jobs in that and good money to be made in that. And I knew even then how insane that was, that our culture and economy would teach a mother to tell her child that the best thing she should do was to find a job that would be in demand and make the most money, even though it had nothing to do with me. So before I leave the fact that ownership matters, I do want to say one more thing about this. We're not just about staying small, as in small impact. We would say question bigness, where bigness has meant a kind of violence, where it's like squash your competitor and squeeze your supplier and build a business model based on planned obsolescence or getting your customers to not be able to pay on time. But we are not about staying small in impact. What we're talking about is transforming thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses in every place, getting them to solve the social, environmental, and economic challenges of their own place. And we're doing this through business models and business growth and ownership structures that are based on preserving the good things about ownership. So those may be organizations that are involved with Bali, like Organic Valley, which is 1,600 farmer owner-operators that share distribution and marketing across North America, but all are retaining wealth and decision-making within their own communities. It could be organizations like the Zingerman's community of businesses and how they've grown deep in a place. I'll tell you lots more at the breakout session.